Hey, it's Lisa. This month I'm focusing on cravings because so many people get them. We're taking a deep dive into what can cause cravings, how to cope with them when they hit, and how to prevent them. Sound good? Well, be sure to check out my free ebook, Crush Your Cravings, which you can download by clicking on the link in the description of this post. The foods you eat can set you up for cravings, especially foods that measure high on this one thing. Before I get into it, let me introduce myself if you don't already know me. I'm Lisa Grace Wright from Your Personal Best Training Studio. My team of certified functional aging specialists and I help men and women over 50 years old to age actively through a unique combination of exercises that enable all of us to age well. If you are watching live, type LIVE in the comments. And if you are watching the replay, well, type replay so I know you dropped in. The quality of the food you eat can affect whether it triggers cravings or keeps you feeling satisfied. It has to do with the glycemic index, which measures food on a scale of 1 to 100 on how fast they raise our blood sugar levels. If you've heard of the glycemic index before and understand the basics of it, well then give me a like. The faster and higher the food makes your blood sugar go up, the higher its glycemic index number is. This number matters because when your blood sugar goes up, your body sends out hormones like insulin to help remove it. A rise in insulin can cause a blood sugar crash that makes you feel tired, shaky, and blah a little while after you eat it. Plus, it can also bring on the hangry feeling, which is a combination of hungry and angry or anxious, which makes you want to eat more to bring your blood sugar level back up. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but let me know in the comments if you do. This cycle is hard to break out of once your body gets used to it. Over time, all those insulin surges can become linked with insulin resistance, which means your cells aren't as receptive to insulin as they used to be. As you may know, insulin resistance is a significant precursor for type 2 diabetes and other health issues like heart disease. That's one reason why it's a good idea to eat foods that don't cause big spikes in your blood sugar levels. As an aside, did you know that there is a global epidemic of diabetes? A considerable number of people with type 2 diabetes has risen by almost 300% since 1980, with more than 400 million people now having the disease. This is a substantial health issue. Pretty scary, right? And one of the reasons we do what we do. So back to the glycemic index. It mostly applies to foods that contain carbohydrates. But it's not that simple. Your blood sugar doesn't just respond to the amount of carbohydrate or natural sugars in a food. The amount of fiber, fat, and protein in a food also play a role in slowing down the blood sugar response. So here's a quick example. Cornflake cereal has a glycemic index of 81, while an apple has a glycemic index of 36. The cereal is a processed food that's a sugar delivery system. There's very little fiber in it to help slow down its impact on your blood sugar. But even though the apple contains a natural sugar, it also contains fiber that helps slow down how quick it makes your blood sugar level rise. Plus, fiber helps keep you feeling full, which besides having health benefits, means it also can help you avoid cravings later on. Is this making sense? Give me a like or comment below if it's making sense. Knowing where on the scale a food lies can help you make better decisions about what you're eating. I'll put a link in the comments to a glycemic index scale for you to check out the foods you're eating. There are a few things you need to know about this scale. The first thing The glycemic index measures each food as if you were eating it alone on an empty stomach. But most of us don't do that when we eat. We eat a few different foods at the same time. For instance, if you were to eat white rice, which has a high GI of 87, chances are you'd be eating something else with it, like some delicious beef and broccoli, which have a GI index of 0 and 10 respectively. The second issue, your food is so much more than its impact on your blood sugar. It also contains vitamins, minerals, and other compounds that your body really needs. Just as an illustration, highly processed peanut M&Ms have a pretty low glycemic index of 33, macaroni and cheese has an index of 64, and baked potatoes, which are all natural and packed with vitamins and minerals, can come in at 85. Also, portion sizes still definitely count if you're trying to maintain or lose weight. It's all very confusing, so what should you do? We need to think about the overall glycemic load of our meals. And by that I mean, if you are eating a food that you know has a high glycemic index, something that is higher on the carb scale, well then how about balancing it out by also eating something with protein or healthy fat, like the rice, beef, and broccoli example that I listed above. Or if you're eating a high glycemic fruit like grapes, which have a GI of 60, you can add some healthy fats like a handful of nuts to slow the blood sugar surge. Are you still with me? I know you keep giving me likes, but give me a like in the comments if it's still making sense. In fact, this is where the old-fashioned square meal comes into play. Way before somebody ever invented the glycemic index, our grandparents and great-grandparents naturally balanced out the meals they served with a protein, starchy carb, and a vegetable. I hope this helps shed some light on the glycemic index and how you can use it to keep your blood sugar stable and avoid that hangry feeling. You might even notice that you don't feel as hungry as often. Hey, here's a suggestion. Journal everything you eat and drink for 3 to 5 weekdays after you set up a 30-minute coaching session with me. And together, let's see if we can reorganize some of the combinations of food you are eating. I have only a few openings available this week. See my coaching link in the description of this video. And thank you so much for Thank you for watching also. And I'll talk to you again real